Good morning, all. I got to get out the door, but I wanted to share with you one of the secrets that I have. Well, they're no secret, but one of the products that I've had a great success in. I used to weigh 366 pounds. I had bariatric surgery, got all the way down to 154, and found that my body really liked to be around 168. Maybe even the early 170s, I'm comfortable. But with the COVID, I was up to 190 pounds. So this morning I was 177. So I'd still like to go about 10 pounds. But one of the secrets is that I came on that was with Dr. V, is he taught us how to make green smoothies after our bariatric surgery. That the protein shakes and those kind of things, they were just junk. You don't need that much protein. You need to get your nutrients from your real food. So I've got to get on with my day, but I'm going to share with you one of the most amazing, I think it's the best part of my best meal of the day. And I think you will too. So what I do is I start with a NutriBullet. And you don't want a magic bullet or anything like that. They're salsa makers. You can go with Ninja. I tried my mom's Ninja. I wasn't real impressed. These NutriBullet Pros, they are phenomenal. And I always get them refurbished from Amazon. If you have a problem within a certain period of time, you can send them back. And they last a while. So what I do is I start with a cup. And I build my smoothies exact opposite of Dr. V. You have to have a liquid. You have to have a liquid base. So I'm just going to show you some of the liquids that I use that are not only delicious, they're nutritional, and I'm going to throw a curveball at you that's going to make some of you cringe, but I want you to think about it. So what I have is my cup, and you can either start with a coconut milk, an almond milk, you've got cashew milks. You've got, and this is incredible, macadamia milk, or otherwise known, AKA milkadamia. This stuff is like 3.5 grams of fat for an 8-ounce glass. You shouldn't use that much liquid in your smoothie. I do it a little generous. I like a thinner smoothie, so I'm not getting full. When you first start out in bariatrics, that's what you want, a nice thick smoothie. I want to feel full, and that's where you kind of get screwed up. You got to learn to be hungry. So, and what Dr. V recommends the most is he likes his coconut waters. Yep, there we go. Vita Coco makes it very sweet. They are good with the electrolytes and just a lot of nutrients. I'm not going to use any of those. I'm going to freak you out a little bit, but this is something that I've learned that's really working for me, getting off the weight. And, sorry I had to step out of the shot. That is celery juice. I've been using celery juice, and it is just, it's energizing. Now, before you say ew and making a smoothie, especially what we're going to do here with a berry smoothie, you have to understand, how many of you guys have ever had a salad and like the berries, the strawberries, the blueberries, the mulberries? It's the same thing. So you can use any one of those liquids. So I'm going to start off by, where's my, nope. I don't want to cut my head out of the shot, but I also want you to see what I'm doing. So I usually start out in one of these jobs, and it'll depend. Yeah, you know what? I'll use that whole thing. That doesn't matter to me. I like a thin smoothie. So, that put aside, we've got our liquids. Now, you've got to have your base, and your base can be a green base. It can be spinach. Kale is a little more tasty, but, spinach is phenomenal. You don't taste the spinach for all you spinach haters. There's no flavor to it at all. So, what I'm going to do is try to open this spinach. And I don't do any measuring. You know, I was successful. I got down to 154, and I just work by eye now. There are plenty of smoothie recipes. If you're getting started, I do recommend Dr. V's. You get it on Amazon. 50 Smoothies, Duck, D-U-C, Vuong, V-U-O-N-G. And then just put 50 smoothies, and his book will pop right up. But he really gets into some creative, nutritious things. So I'm going to stick some of my spinach in there. Usually I'll use a little more, but I'm not worried about it for this video. few of these things I'm going to do are going to freak you out, and you can do whatever you want with your own smoothie. But I'm going to tell you, inflammation and things like that, they are the cause of all disease and problems and cancer. It all starts with inflammation. So one of the first things, let me check that out. One of the first things I always do is I am a fan of, I don't want to flip it upside down. I have a backup. Anthony Greeley over by Duffield's Market. He is a beekeeper, and this stuff is amazing. And it's well worth it for the flavor and the quality. It's all raw, organic. So the first thing I do in my smoothie is I add a little honey. And I just put a squeeze in there till I want. Now, in my weight loss journey and learning nutrition, I've learned a lot of combinations that are very healthy for you. So one of them is organic cinnamon. Now, if you have GERD or reflux, acid disease, and those kind of things, you got to watch. Cinnamon is a hot spice. But I'm going to dump a little bit of that in there. And sometimes it's hard to gauge it right out of the bottle like this. And I know I could use the teaspoon, but like I said, I don't use those things. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to freak you out, but this is my smoothie, and this is what works for me for inflammation. What happens is I get turmeric, or some people call it turmeric, and I put a little turmeric in there. Now, what most people don't know is turmeric is very, very good, and I don't put a whole lot. I just want you to see that. That's probably a teaspoon, a tablespoonful. I use about that much, up, Glenn, up. And I put that in my smoothie as well. And here's where I'll freak you out, but I'm promising you, you do not taste it. Capsaicin, or the ingredient in black pepper, there we go. And the ingredient in black pepper will make turmeric 2,000 times more powerful. It's incredible, and it works for me. I don't care what you think. Well, I do actually, but I just put a shake or two in there. You never miss it. And I'll tell you what, I feel the results. This is going to be up to you. So now what I want to share with you, and this is the main story, is Wyman's Wild Blueberries. These things are out of the world, crazy flavorful. And as you can see as they promote, they have 2 times the antioxidants on them. And here's the backstory of wild blueberries. What many of us don't know is that the wild blueberry is one of the most resilient berries in the world. And one of the reasons it is the first berry that not only can survive a devastation of a forest fire, it is the first berry that returns. It makes it a very strong, powerful, and nutritious thing. And if you think about it, the reason it's twice the antioxidants is, not only did it survive the ash and everything, it pops back up, and it's the first thing that, when it comes to reforestation, that the animals will come back in and eat. Your rabbits, your bears, your deer, whatever it is. And we don't like to think about it, but that's the way all our food comes from, is through nature. And when it's out in nature, I'm promising you, most of the stuff you had went through an animal and pooped it out as a seed. And that's what happens with reforestation. This is one of the first products that comes out, the wild blueberry, that pops up in the forest. And the rabbits, the deer, and the bear, they come out and they start foraging, and they're doing their thing on their way out. And this stuff is incredible. So I got to figure out where I'm at. Now for me, I'm going to put this bag back in the freezer because I have my Wyman's into this bag. But these are only at ShopRite. It's 13 pounds for 3 pounds. For 3 pounds, $13 for 3 pounds. And I'm telling you, when you see them, just grab them, put them in the freezer. They are amazing. You've never had a blueberry till you've had Wyman's. Not only do I do that, I have a Wyman's wild blueberry juice that it's absolutely medicinal. And I'm going to put a splash of that in there. So enough about Wyman's. Let me just turn that to the freezer. So what I do, I don't care. Blueberries are very, very low glycemic. I take a full cup. I don't care. And I might even put a little more in there. I take a full cup. I dump these delicious babies right into my cup without dropping them, which I did. I don't want to tread on them. So let's just scrape up these remnants. So what I'm going to do, since I have got that so full, is that spinach will mush down. And one of the things I always do in my smoothie, the other thing I'm going to do, let me do this first, is if you take green bananas and slice them up, you get them at Walmart cheap or whatever, they will ripen in the bag. I'm very suspicious of the ones you get out of the grocery store that are like, you know, nice and bright and orange. Like, what are they treating it with that it doesn't break down like this? This started as green probably a month ago. I put it in the freezer as a backup. So I am going to take, and I cut them in half. I'm trying to lose weight. I don't want to get my taste buds too fired up on sugary things. But I take this half a banana into my smoothie and I plunge it right into the center. Do you see how it smashes everything down? Isn't that nice? So let me put the bananas back. I don't want them to get in the way. So now we have our base, our liquid, and you can see it's nice and loose in there. One thing for me with my allergies is I use bee pollen in every daily smoothie. This is a product called Steak Itch, and I've tried many of them. You can get it on Amazon. It's $17. It'll probably last you 2.5, 3 months. But that's what a vaccination is. We're all talking about COVID. What are they doing? Putting the antibodies in you, get the bee pollen in you, and I have much less severe set allergies. So I always do that. I take a nice, because we're pumping right now with allergies over here. So I take a nice heaping teaspoon and I dump that in my smoothie. There's no flavor to it. And what else do I want to do? Ooh, so you've got to discover superfoods. Cacao nibs, and I promote Wilderness Poets. Wilderness Poets has some of the best products in the world. As for, they're out in Oregon. I know the family. It's a family-owned and operated business. If you call them to place an order or go on wildernesspoets.com, you'll probably end up talking to Jenna. Jenna and I are good friends. I know Tom and Mika, the owners, and they maybe have a dozen people, and you should see their products. Their pistachio butter is out of this world. It's pricey, but you pay the doctor or you pay the grocer. Let's pay the grocer. So I don't even measure. I take maybe a fistful and just dump these cacao nibs in there. Gives it a nice chocolatey flavor, and it is a superfood. So then what we do, is that what I'm going to do? Oh, I'm going to just do a splash of Wyman's in there. Might as well have a nice, delicious spoon. You're only supposed to use maybe a tablespoon or two. But again, this stuff is absolutely medicinal, very expensive, but this is one of the things that I do for myself. As Dr. V says, I am worth every penny of it. And we know that by the word of God, too. We are fearfully and wonderfully made. I don't like letting them get warm because they come out as a... And another thing I like with my smoothie is... my smoothie is pomegranate juice powder. It's a ground powder, but man, this just puts it over the top. And I only have a small little scoop in there, and I just load up the scoop and I throw it on top. Man, Glenn, you're throwing so much in your smoothie. Aren't you worried about calories and carbs? And no, you don't have to count calories. What you have to do is have a smoothie in the morning. I drink 3 bottles of water before my smoothie. It's near lunch. And then I have 3 bottles of water before my lunch, just a salad and a protein, 3 bottles of water for my dinner, maybe a steamed vegetable, Brussels sprouts, and I like fish. I'm more pescatarian now because I have better results health-wise. Do I like chicken and steak? Absolutely, I'll kill it. But I don't eat that much of it anymore. So, let me rinse off my hands here. That bag needs to be wiped down. And then all you do is, where's your base, Glenn? Here's my base. You screw it on. You give it a good shake. Because that's spinach, the way I build my smoothie. But here, we'll give it a whirl. I let it get nice and loose. Give it another shake. Spinach is still at the top. This is the way I do them. I don't care what anybody says. I see people having to tap the NutriBullets and all them. And I didn't use as much spinach as I normally would. And there we go. So now this puppy's cranking. Since it uses blades, you don't want to let it turn too long because the blade will get warm, and warmth is one of the things that'll kill your nutrients. Now for me, that's fine. That is delicioso. So, and with the NutriBullet, I love this because I'm going out to get my steps in before I start hitting the doors. I found a berry, so I'll throw that in there as well. They give you a nice little handle with this. Man alive, gosh, you do not know what you're missing. All that junk food and stuff are stopping at Wawa. This is the way to live your life. Little cinnamon, I can taste the honey, I can taste the Wymans. Not so much the banana. Definitely can't taste the spinach, but hey, I wanted to share that with you. I got to get trucking. I'm going to get my steps in real quick, and then I got to get to work. So I love you. I thank you. Please click like and share, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'll upload this to my YouTube. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. God bless.